Yo, we're out here back again, just getting it down the highway. We're up here on I-70. We're coming out of Effingham, Illinois, headed towards where we're going to Ohio. Okay, so they got this deal that's called the Power List, right? So Andy Frisella, he's a real good guy. He made this deal, and basically you get like a journal and you write down 5 things you're going to do today. And if you do it, you win. If you don't, you lose. And then you stack your wins, right? So like whether you're winning or you're losing, it's always right now. You got the past that you're kind of reminded of, and you're looking towards the future, right? But you're living right here, right now. Okay? And then you got these different parts of your life. So if you'll take the time to write stuff down, then you can see what you wrote down. Something about looking at it is magical. It is borderline magical because, it just is. So one of the parameters, like everybody understands, well, some more than others, but math is a measurement, okay? So a budget with money is mostly numbers. So that is easy to write out on a piece of paper and look at, okay? Now, you got all these different sections of your life, okay? So you got, like, for myself, I got like the job, right? Well, more than that, the marriage, and then even more than that, the church, you know, and even more than that, my personal relationship with God. You know what I mean? So without any order of importance, I have a variety of things, right? So I might write down these different sections of my life, actually do a budget, look at it, find the magic in that, and then go back, look at this power list of 5 things I can do to win the day. Now I can do a power list in each category of my life, and I can look back to the what is wealth? You know, what is what do they call that? They call it something like what you're worth on paper or whatever. Anyway, so you got like your real estate stuff, and then like your stocks and bonds portfolios. Do you own a business? How much is your car worth? How much is your house worth? And then there's these other things like your skills, your marketable skills, and then there's like peace of mind, and then there's like healthy carcass. You know what I mean? Like you want to be alive. Like you don't want your body to become a carcass. Okay, so let's avoid that. Put the building blocks in. You know, you want to breathe air. You want to like flow blood. You want to like digest food and not have any dis-ease. So you want to just take it easy. You want ease. Ease of mind. Ease of body. Ease of soul. Ease of going in and doing it and doing it and going in and doing. Driving down the road. You know what I mean? Part of my mental health is making these videos. That's a big part of it. I'm just a snot-nosed kid. Okay, so I can look back at these things where this power list, you know what I mean? Like I might do 5 things I want to talk to God about every day and make a power 5 P5 Jesus. You know what I mean? I want a P5 trucking. I want a P5, you know, like, you know, there might be 5 things that I want to make sure that I discuss properly with my dispatcher so that work goes well. I might have 5 checklists. It's more than 5 really. But what to do with the shipper, what to do with the receiver. I might need a 5 checklist for my educationals and my I want to educate, hydrate, exercise, the proper diet, and spirit, right? So like that might be my personal 5 inventory for just my headspace. You know what I mean? Like I need all that just to keep my headspace right. You know what I mean? Like out here driving, you gotta keep a head on a swivel. Oh, Mr. Toyota right there. Yeah, he was in danger. And anyway, so like you gotta keep an eye out for these things. And then, well, like right now, I mean, I see a lot of snow on the sides of the road. The road is clear, so I gotta assume there's gonna be patchy ice. You know what I mean? So, you know, I want to check my lateral momentum. You know what I mean? You don't want a bunch of G-forces sideways, or you'll be sitting sideways all in a daze. And you don't want that. It's all fun and games till the trailer's pushing you, and you're jackknifed in the median, headed for, you know, a bridge. Anyways, getting back on point. So for your personal wealth, and like, you know, what is that to you? And there's all these different parameters, you know. So if I'm building personal wealth, like I'm increasing the number of push-ups I can do, that's personal wealth. I'm increasing the quality of the interactions I'm choosing to have. Like I'm out here, I'm isolated, right? So I'm not going to talk to my friends and family unless they're on the phone. So if I put a little post-it note up here, you know what I mean? 5 things, friends and family up via phone call. You know what I mean? All phone interactions, you know. And I want to be positive. You know what I mean? I want to be uplifting, encouraging. I want to listen and appropriate emotion. You know what I'm saying? So like gaining emotional stability on the phone. You ever have like a telemarketer call you and you just lose your shit? Like, you need to work on that, dude. For real. Like, I see people do that. And I used to do that, but now I don't. I'm just like, hello, or whatever. And then, like, they don't answer or whatever. And then I'm just like, well, Mr. No Talk, I'll talk to you later, I guess, and hang up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get all bent out of shape when there's, like, traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, at first, I would talk to the traffic with a Shrek voice. I'd be like, easy, little fella. Use your blinker, little fella. You know what I mean? And then I would start laughing or whatever else like that. And that helped me get over it. You know what I mean? Like when I quit smoking. You know, I hit that vape pen for a while. And then like, I got to where I couldn't breathe off that thing. And then, so I threw it away. And of course, I still wanted the smoke. So I bought a pack of cigarettes. Lit a cigarette. It tasted so bad because my taste buds had already changed. I just threw them cigarettes and everything out the window and just got mad enough to kick the cigarette's ass. You know what I mean? Like, when they say kick the habit, like kick the habit. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is, a bunch of habits. You know what I mean? So you're born looking like your parents. If you're born in a, you know, affluent country and you're rich, well, you're a rich kid. Born poor, well, you're a poor kid, whatever. But when you die, you're going to die looking like your choices. You know what I mean? Did you choose to do what it takes? Did you suffer through? Basically, that's what that is, right? So, like, understand that you're going to suffer, okay? So, with Jesus, I don't go to hell. Without Jesus, I go to hell, right? So, like, how do I find Jesus? The process of becoming Christ-like is enduring suffering. Like I suffered through elementary school, so I have basic understanding. You know what I mean? I know how to get up every day and go to work. You know what I mean? And then at work, I know how to work. And then I know how to assess my work and do what actually gets her done and not so much all the BS. But pay my dues to those that come before me. So when they send me for the board stretcher, I know that I get to send somebody for the board stretcher. If you're in the trades, you know what I'm talking about. So like there's like a passing of the torch. You know, you got the back when I was going to school, when you were the freshman, the seniors would throw you in a trash can and then roll the trash can down the hill. And other stuff in my imagination in places, things that never happened. There was this thing called hazing and all of that. truck in 1985. You know, you paid $200,000 for that plastic whatever thing that, you know, clogs up the exhaust. He's been driving that Peterbilt 389 since, you know, 2 years ago. But the 379, he got that in 1985. It's still going down the road. And he paid 40 grand for that son of a bitch brand new. Yeah. He drove it 6 million miles. Yeah, it will go 6 million miles if you just keep fixing it. And like I seen a deal where like a turbo, I think it was on a Detroit Series 60 engine, was $700, and then a new Freightliner, Freightliner, it was like a 2016, and it was $7,000 for that turbo, and you had to have the computer programmed and blah blah blah. And the other one you can change with a screwdriver and a 10mm wrench in about 15 minutes for $700, not $7,000. So you know, I mean, how much is that gallon per mile really worth? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, depends on what you're doing. Depends on what you're doing. So anyways, you ain't gonna drive it to California, that's for sure. So there's different things. Okay, but make your list. Your power list. Stay on point, Skip. Power list. Look up Andy Frisella. Look up the book of mental toughness and look up the power list and find these 5 things and learn how to stack the wins. You're stacking wins or you're stacking losses your whole life. And the more that you can look and say, you know what? I did this thing. You know what? I made it through this, you know, schooling. I made it through this hazing. I made it through this, you know, roofing without a driver's license and a felony warrant and, you know, 6 years of running a, you know, 17-man crew on the road. I did all that. Didn't even have a driver's license. Like, you know, I made provisions. I worked for cash. I paid for the neighbor's outside closet in the apartment complex. I dug a tunnel to his house under the complex so I could go get him that. Wait, did I say that out loud? Anyway, so I can look back and be like, well, if they're cutting everybody's heads off that won't take the mark of the beast, perhaps I should look at these people that smuggled Bibles behind the Iron Curtain and set up pathways in the United States so that the Christians can live. So when the, you know, Antichrist shows up and here's all these sheeple, like, who's going to take care of them? You know what I mean? Until we all just disappear or whatever. You know what I mean? And in my head, as far as that rapture goes, like, God is a God of mercy and he makes a way, right? So even if one man's standing there and one disappears, I'm going to be the dude still standing there because I'll still go be like, hey man, read this Bible for real. Like, all the people that disappeared, this is what happened. Look, it says it right here. Look, here's a copyright, 1943 or whatever, when this particular Bible was made. 1989, whatever. You know what I mean? But definitely, the book was wrote and it said that this would happen. I'll be the guy standing there talking to the guy that did not make it, saying, hey, we got to get right. Oh, and here's a place to hide. Here's some food. I'm not going to go hide right now because it's still time to be out here, like, spreading Bibles. Like, I changed my route. Like, the reason I'm in Illinois instead of coming up through Kentucky is hills, so fuel mileage is a thing, and then the going by to get the Bibles, and then, you know, so that's the point. So look at your personal wealth. Look at your net worth. Like, what are you worth? You know what I mean? Like what makes life worth it? it didn't do like this power list thing for each category, dude. For real. I mean, even inside your business, you got like marketing, sales, taxes. You know, like, how are you going to take advantage of the tax system when the external revenue service takes a hold, right? Like what variables is there? Like what tax strategy do you have now? You know, and if it's there's no federal income tax, is there still going to be state taxes? Is there still going to be sales tax? And ponder that with your team. Like that's the biggie. Like if you're in business, that's a big deal. And then if you're married, you know, that's what you need to be talking with your spouse about and everything. You know, and I was talking with my wife, and she is not keeping up with any of this stuff because it's just like, why would she? You know what I mean? It's like I done shot the deer. She doesn't have to go out there and stab it. You know what I mean? I got that area pretty well under surveillance, which gives her the freedom to think, hey, you know, if something's coming, this dude's going to see it. You know what I mean? And that ain't nothing to sneeze at. You know, and let's just say this right now to you ladies out there. If your husband is a provider and a prepper and all this kind of stuff, like, it's just insurance, okay? So, like, seeing it coming before it gets here is the same as being like, well, I probably need life insurance since I'm a truck driver and, you know, I might wreck the truck and die. And in that case, I should have some, you know, insurance. And then there's other stuff, you know, car insurance and everything like that. And then, like, insurance to get your house, right? And then for me, if that shit wasn't mandatory, I wouldn't get it at all. Because, you know, like, for my house, for my vehicles and all that stuff like that or whatever, because I lived on the lam, and I didn't have that stuff. Like, growing up, you know, if there was a fire, you better put it out. If you called the cops, neighbors shot up the house, they called the cops and everything. It was 3 days before they found where we lived. Like, it wasn't like they wasn't looking. They just took them that long to find us. And things have improved drastically since then. You know, with GPSs and stuff like that or whatever. But the ability to handle your own business, you know what I mean? So, like, at my place there at Unit T, it's just one property. Because there's the farm, there's Ticker 2, and there's Unit T. Okay, at Unit T, there is substantial in different buildings. So the shop has an apartment in there. So it's got shop stuff and blah, 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 whatever. And you can go in there, flip on the light switch, and do what you got to do. I got 2 electric bills, 2 911 addresses, the whole 9 yards. So if one place, heaven forbid, has something happen, you know, fire, flood, whatever, you know, freaking rent it out, whatever, I can live in the other. So like, you know, I want to live in the house because it's super nice. But the apartment ain't nothing to sneeze at. So then, like, when I'm an old man, I can just live in the apartment, right? And, like, we got it set up all handicap style. You know what I mean? So, like, if I die off and she's old, she can live in the apartment and rent the house out. Well, the house across the street, it rents out for $5,400, right? So if she's living in the apartment and she rents the house out, we can get similar. Now, the bills for the whole place to eat, blah, 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 is $4,000 right now. Okay? Now, if the price of goods going up and, you know, taxes and whatever, blah, 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 you know, 12 years from now, it'll go up, but there won't be a mortgage payment anymore, right? So, the overall of the monthlies goes up by $2,000. it's still the same price because there won't be no mortgage anymore. You see what I'm saying? So if it inflates, it goes up by $2,000, but it's paid off, so there ain't that $2,000. You see what I'm saying? And then there's always, sell the place and downgrade, move somewhere else. Tons of options. So like, we can't predict the future, so we want to stack options. You know what I mean? So another power list of 5 is, how do I build options? You know what I mean? How do I do these different options? You know what I mean? Like, how do I get these passive streams of income that are not taxed? You know what I mean? I'm taxed on like a W-2, right? But as a W-2 driver in a truck, I get per diem for every day I'm not at home. So a portion of my W-2 money, a significant portion, is not taxed, okay? And then what is taxed, that's the part that falls under the tax brackets and all that kind of stuff like that. So that compiled with the mortgage on the house, I paid $400 in taxes last year and had over $100,000 pass through my hand. So, like, you can really work and not pay taxes. That's really possible. It really is. I even saved a deal yesterday. It's here on this channel, on Skip D-Graph. I think it's taxes is the playlist.
Continue on I-70 East for 29 miles.
And I saved a video on there of a guy that makes, he knows what he's talking about. He doesn't sound like a chip-toothed redneck driving down the road. This is an actual guy that, well, I think he sold his business for a few million or whatever, and he got his first bill where he owed $1 million in taxes, and he's like, I need to figure this out. So now he's like, knows what he's talking about, and been there and done that. So like, and that's another thing, like, on your power list, there needs to be a number 6 where it's like, what did the experts say, and then a list of 5 experts in that field. You know what I mean? You got this phone right there. You know what I'm saying? You got the freaking, you can get YouTube certified by 5 experts in, one afternoon. You know what I mean? If you got YouTube certified, like, pick your topic, do your Power 5 power list, whatever section of your life, building towards the future, and then put a little star for special section 6, and then make a list of 5 experts where you can watch their videos where they're talking about this stuff. And when I say YouTube certified, that sounds generic, cheap, and possibly false. Okay, but what happens is while you see 5 experts talking about the same thing, you can cut through the bullshit and the salesman and all that kind of stuff. And I've honed that skill through trying to figure out nutrition, right? Which diet's right, Atkins, carnivore, freaking vegan, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, which foods are killing you. After watching this shit for like 2 years, I'm like, well, the ones that are really doing good are actually picking a diet so they're not overeating. Right? So that's like, they have exercise, they're exercising, they have a plan, they're following the plan. It's like, you probably already know what you should be doing. You just have to actually execute on that. Like, make that decision and execute, follow through. You know what I mean? You have equilibrium. And then, like, a lot of times the carnivores, they like know a guy that raises cows. So they're like buying the cow that's eating grass in the neighbor's field. Like, I have 2 cows in my freezer right now that are from right across the fence. And that's where they are. Out here on the road, I just buy stuff from the store. You know what I mean? It's potato, slightly different. It's enough to worry about. Like, as much as I don't go home, for me to carry a freezer with that amount of meat to go like a month out here driving around, it just, juice ain't worth the squeeze. So like to fit my lifestyle, I'll go with the, mystery meat bison from, Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if it kills me, hey, I tried, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then with the vegans and stuff like that, I was watching this one lady, she lost like 300 and something pounds, blah, blah, blah. But she started growing a garden. And so she had like, she was growing her own food. And I was like, how much of this is in their head where they are feeling good about the fact they grew a garden and now they're eating their own vegetables? How about this other guy that he feels good that he's not going to the store to get mystery meat, he's buying the neighbor's cow, he's got a better relationship with his neighbor, you know what I mean? So like I'm seeing the headspace of these people that lost 150 pounds or whatever, you know what I mean? And then I see like the 75 hard people, well they're just like, they're more athlete style people, you know what I mean? Like I know a bunch of like Elmer Fudd type of dudes that they are not going to go through the academics of this thing to be, or the academics or the athletics, you know what I mean? But these dudes are tough as hell, you know what I mean? But they're doing it just because they're like, hey, they hear the dog bark at 3 o'clock in the morning and go out and, get the cows back in the fence and fix the fence and everything. And now the sun's coming up, they're knee deep in snow, and they just go on about doing their chores for the day. You know what I mean? They will never, ever, ever go to freaking gym and start walking on a treadmill. It is not going to happen. But if you track that dude, he's walking in knee deep, snow and ice or whatever. And then, like, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but for some reason, the cows will wait till the coldest day of the entire season to have a calf. And they will get down to the bottom of a holler, and I think it's got something to do with avoiding predators, honestly, but I don't know that to be a fact. Anyway, so you take a guy like that, and this dude's got a freaking six-pack, you know what I'm saying? This dude's tough, you know what I'm saying? And so he got there his way. Then you got your athletic types, then you got your vegan types, but they all share a discipline. Okay, so like the discipline, even Jesus' followers were called disciples. Okay, so there's like this religious aspect, there's a spiritual aspect. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. His fighting discipline was Taekwondo, and look at how that discipline affected his life. You know what I'm saying? So like the discipline of the power list, the 5. You know what I mean? The 5 goals of the day. I'm going to do these 5 things, and if I do it, I won. And if I did not, I lost. And then you tack on, 7 days rest. You know what I mean? You go Saturday afternoon into your little spot. You know what I mean? You pray to God and do whatever you're going to do, whatever this, that, and the other. But you schedule 3 hours to consult 5 experts on whatever topic and get YouTube certified. Buddy, I'm going to tell you right now, if I went down there, I just said, hey, I need a mortgage. I got to buy this land from my brother-in-law because COVID, ball died, blah, blah. I would be looking at an 8% 30-year mortgage with some kind of veritable bullshit where I pay $400,000 in bullshit. Well, he's just running right down the ditch. He pulled her out. But instead, I'm paying a grand total of $68,000 on 306. And when you're doing your payments on something, say, how much is the payment? Write that down. How many payments? Write that down. Multiply it. That's your number. That's what you're paying. That's what you're paying. So, 306 and some change, 68,000 life insurance when you're out here driving around, because this ain't no joke, boys. This ain't no joke. We just see one of them running a ditch, just even thinking about it. You know what I mean? But we got to be cautious. We got to stay cautious out here. You know, we slowed her down to 70 since it's, you know, a little bit of accumulation. It's 30 degrees out. It's cold enough now that the road's actually not thawing. Okay? Which, thawing out sounds good. However, it's not good because of what I call refreeze. You know what I mean? So you don't want the refreeze. Anyways, thaws out, becomes moist, levels off, refreezes. Now you have a skating rink. Anyway, so I guess I better get off here and pay attention. So, like, take that 3 hours to get off by yourself, and you know what I mean. I would say for the month of February, focus on your personal wealth, your net worth, and do what it takes for that. Figure out your, you know, your health, your mental, spiritual, all that kind of stuff of self, and then family, and then marketable skills, and then, you know, what's your you know, pickup worth. I don't know. And figure out where that's at, right? And then, like, start asking yourself where you want to be and how you're going to get there. So if I'm looking at the yonder to where I want to be, I'm going to say with Jesus. Okay? So I want to get that figured out. You know, get washed in the blood, baptized and all that. And then on this, but before I go, I want to be a good witness, right? Because I respect that. Like, the process of getting washed in the blood, be like, oh wow, like I'm not going to hell, and realize what Jesus did. It will give you a heart, and anybody with a heart will know that you know, somebody's going to die for you. The least you can do is live for them. Well, the least you can do is nothing at all. But, like, you know, if you got any type of get right and goodness in you, you know what I mean? If you die for me, I'm going to look out for your wife and kids. And the church is Jesus' wife. And there's a lot of kids at the church, too. And that's technically God's kids. So, you know, look out for the kinfolk. I call them kinfolk. What's how's Trump saying the old way? He's like, well, you know, the kinfolk. I call them kinfolk. So the kinfolks of Jesus, or whatever. What did he sleep? A little weevil wobble in there. Okay, so the and then, like, the monetize your attributes. You know what I mean? Like, when you're looking at what you want to do for work, like, to narrow down anything for me, I make a box of what I like and I don't like. So when I think about work, it's like, I don't like someone screaming at me. I don't like being on fire. I don't like sweating profusely. I don't like it when my bones break. Stuff like that. That's real freaking obvious. But then it gets down a little bit more nuanced where it's like, you know, I want to be able to sit down. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I want to get paid. Like, I want a big fat check. You know what I mean? And then, like, you know, I want to be the boss. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want somebody else laying down the law to me, type of deal. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, make your own list of what you like and what you don't like, and then get realistic or whatever, and then monetize your talents. Monetize the things that you enjoy, you know what I'm saying? And build skills. You know, dude, I'm 45 years old and considering starting a media group to, you know, just be like the yellow pages of self-help. You know what I mean? Like, if you went to YouTube and searched whatever, you know what I mean? But it's one of the deals, it's kind of like tell me what I don't know. Is one of my things in life. One of my mottos. Tell me what I don't know. I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. So I don't even know what is the right question to ask. So when I'm on this search bar on YouTube, like, I don't know what I don't know. So I'm not even looking for the right expert on whatever topic. I think you got the big, media they, which it used to be, ABC, NBC, whatever like that. Now it's like Joe Rogan and, Mr. Beast or whatever. I don't even watch Mr. Beast. I've heard of the guy. Anyway, so you got these other people that these influencers and stuff like that, which are the new ABC, the new NBC and stuff like that, right? That guy Benny or whatever, so he's talking about Trump or whatever. You know what I mean? And they all got biases too. You know what I mean? Everybody used to hate on the mainstream media, but when the alternative becomes the main, then you'll see their biases as well. And Joe Rogan's success is his logical, in-depth questioning. You know what I mean? There's another channel called Modern Wisdom. That guy does a lot of real good stuff. Interviewing a lot of, not just interesting people, but like, I didn't realize that I enjoy the person that asks good questions more than the person answering the questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to tell me what I don't know. I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. So I won't even be able to ask a question about it because I'm ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's something too. You know what I mean? Like, you can be ignorant, and that doesn't mean that you're stupid. That just means that you're ignorant. You know what I mean? You just don't know what that is. Like, I don't know that I know that the snow is coming down pretty good, and this road is slicker and fun. That's for sure. Hopefully, I'm not filming the wreck. Let's hope that. Anyway, let's have a look at it. You know what I mean? So it's blowing snow. It ain't sticking. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, you want to back her down. You know what I mean? So right here, boom, turn it off the Jake brake. Okay, now checking behind us. We're nice and flat. We'll cross the bridge. Bridges freeze first. So you don't want lateral movement, right? You don't want your momentum pulling you sideways. That's real good. And then you want to, like, I'm going to go over here to defroster, right? I'm going to turn this on. You don't want our windshield to freeze up, right? We're starting to get some accumulation on the windshield. We're going to pull our visor down. That's going to keep the heat up there on the windshield real good, like we like. Turn the heat all the way up. And then we're going to take the cruise control off. Now we're just coasting, right? Okay. So we're just coasting. We're going down the hill. You don't want to maximize, like, these trucks got a speed limiter, so don't run all the way up against the limiter. Like, if you get a little squirrely, 9 times out of 10 you can speed up and it'll straighten out. You know what I mean? But like right there, just crossed the bridge, coming down the hill, and the situation could have been dire. However, it's not, and now everything in the windshield is sticking, right?
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
We're melting, so I'm able to turn it off. We got the stalled vehicle ahead deal. We got this thing going, got that thing going, so I got 2 different electronics that's saying whether or not the road's piled up ahead of me or whatever. And there's our guy stalled in the road. He's on the left side, which is not good. And he's got an orange sticker, so I know there's nobody in the vehicle. Right? So he's not going to be out there walking around. Everybody seems to be stepping left. We got some flashing lights. So, making room for old Carter Express to get out there. I touched the trailer brake okay, truck's got 10 tires, trailer's got 8, it's behind me, and I'm going this way. So if I hit the trailer brake, it'll pull the vehicle straight because I'm pulling the trailer. You know what I mean? So if I hit the trailer brake, and I actually slow down, I got traction. If I hit the trailer brake, I don't slow down, I don't have traction, time to go park the truck, wait for things to thaw out, reassess the situation. Another thing is, you're driving in bad weather, go ahead and stop at the truck stop. Now, there used to be this big horseshoe table at the restaurant. Not so much anymore. You pretty much just kind of talk to random people that are standing there. You want to go to the fuel island, wherever the truckers are at paying for fuel, get receipts, and ask the people standing in line, say, hey, what's the road like? Which way are you coming from? Blah, 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 stuff like that. Because what that does is that gives you real-time local knowledge, and one guy's coming from one way, another guy's coming from the other, so you can get north, south, east, and western where right there at the deal. See what I'm saying? Okay, now everything's smoothed out. Okay, now there's the road's clear again. So that was just a snow flurry right there. And when I checked this morning, I knew taking off already it's going to be cold as fuck, and there was going to be about 3 spots of snow, and that was one of the 3. And we're finally getting past Old Carter Express. He's got the blanky. We got the thank you. And we're driving right along. Anyway, got out of the way of this flatbedder. So anyway, that power list with the number 6, you know, do your 5 things, you know, for your life, whatever it is. Take the time to do the power list for each category, you know what I mean? And inside your business, okay, like you want to mind your own business, you know what I mean? That's a good slogan, mind your own business. So, you know, your marriage is a business. Run your household like a business, you know what I mean? Your teams and stuff like that, or whatever, you know, your immediate family is your team. Set it up to win. Run it like a business, and then have a business hat and have a family hat, and literally change your hat. This is my business hat. I have a different hat. When I walk into my house, I take this hat off and I put a different hat on, and now I'm dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally do that. And it's a mindset shift thing. It's a big deal. You want to get suited up for battle. There's something that changes when you put on football pads. There's something that changes when you put on, you know, tar boots and pants, gloves before you go tear off a roof, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a different deal. You know, when I'm doing my pre-trip inspection and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I check out the equipment, check out the weather, this, that, and the other, set my destinations and all this kind of stuff. You know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 parameters of driving this truck to where I'm going today, sitting right here in this passenger seat. You know what I mean? So, you know, I want to make sure that I maintain what's appropriate, and that is that's mandatory. It's mandatory that you maintain appropriately your life, your business, your family, your health, all of these things. And yeah, write down a list for yourself of what you think you need to maintain appropriately. And you will be so busy with your own business that you won't have time to worry about geopolitics. You're not going to have, if you're doing a quarter of what I'm saying in this video, you will find such a peace. You will have such an ability to make God the center of your life, because you're going to be like, help me, Lord. Help me with these things. And then that's going to get your prayer right and your motivations and all this kind of stuff. And dude, if you got your prayer life right and you're motivated, you can tell when somebody's struggling. You can tell when somebody's, it's hard to tell if they're on the phone or they're drunk because they look a lot the same.
In half
But
a
you can see
mile,
it in
keep
the
right to stay on I-70 East.
Across the state line, so I got to write that down. But we just got to remember 814, 549, 814. We're safe to write it down right there.
Keep right to stay on I-70 East.
We are in Indianapolis, and I think we're gonna get. Look, somebody.
Continue on I-70 East for 80 miles.
They like actually cut metal out. They didn't try and think this is true. That's funny. Anyway, all right, man. Yeah, I got a ton more to say about this. I think we're about an hour into this deal. And that's yeah. But these are the things that I'm busy myself with. You know what I mean? Oh, and then now it's getting hot in here, so I got my heater going to defrost as hot as it can be, so my window doesn't freeze and my windshield wipers don't freeze. And now that it's getting too hot, I crack my window, so because the sun visor's down, it's trapping that heat up on the dash. And then now with this window cracked and this window cracked over here, it sucks that heat out the sides, so you can run, wide open heat on your defrost, not sweat like a pig. And then I got my option to heat the feet, because I can do defrost with feet. Anyway, none of this works if you don't do it. The Bible does not work through osmosis. You can't lay your head on the Bible like it's a pillow and get the Holy Ghost. That's not the way it works. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. Now, you can work smarter, but this whole thing about work smarter, not harder, that's bullshit. Do the hard work. Work hard at doing it smart. Work hard at doing it smart. And that's where you'll find that in that expert YouTube certification. For real. Like, I figured out, like, on my mortgage. Okay, now I never went to a bank in my life. I never asked somebody that had a mortgage, person to person, hey, what did you do to get a mortgage? I through the YouTube wound up with a 2.5% on a 306 or whatever, and then through my strategy of repayment and doing my own escrow, I was able to work that into with it, $68,000 for borrowing 306. You take the 15 times 2,050-ish. I forget the exact number. I think it's 248.35, whatever. Anyway, so the 2050 times 15 years times 12 months. That's the total amount that I paid for the house, and they gave me $306,000, right? So, yeah, it is slicker than some bitch over here. Anyway, that's a 15-year fixed rate. Do my own escrow deal. I didn't even know you could do your own escrow. I did not know that. I do know that if the bank is doing your escrow for you, that you're losing between $300 and $400 a month. And after the fact, I'm talking to my uncle or whatever, and he's got his escrow as part of his deal or whatever, and it's for the to get his insurance. So if you're doing your own escrow, you call the insurance company, and they're wanting $400 a month. And then if the bank does it for you, that $400 a month is $450 a month. But the insurance receipt says $450 for insurance, and then they do the $50 kickback to the management company. So since the management company is doing it, you know what I mean? And then because they're doing volume, the actual rate that would have cost you $400, it's costing them like $360. So they're getting the 40 and they're getting the 50. You know what I mean? So there's a $90 a month profit for 30 years that a lot of people don't see. And then, being out here, going from being a contractor, a subcontractor, cash man only, on the run, no banking, no ability to get financed, none of that kind of stuff. Just, working for Earl and doing whatever that's required by Earl to get the equipment, do the job, hopefully get paid. You know what I mean? Being a judge of, is this, if I go roof this house, is this homeowner going to pay the boss man, and then is the boss man going to pay me? And I've been out of state. Met this dude off of Craigslist ad. I got 17 dudes, and we're going to go over here and work for a week. And this guy's supposed to pay me $84,000. You know what I mean? Cash money. So I show up, and this dude pulls out a choker out of his pocket. I mean, it's not even folded in half. He's just holding a chunk of hundreds and just flips through there. He says, "I got your money." Well, he's got the money. That doesn't mean he's going to pay me. So that's where I learned to do the 30, 30, 30, 10 and charge 10% above what I was going to do the work for. You know what I mean? So I need 30 to start, 30 in the middle, and then 30 to finish up. And then when I'm done, you give me the 10. But the 30, 30, 30 is actually 100%. So if I was going to charge you, 100,000 on this job, I would do 33,400, 33,400, 33,400, and then 12,000 on the end. You know what I mean? I'd add those numbers up, pencil whip it, itemize it, hand them a piece of paper. This is the deal. And they're like, cool, or whatever, or they're not, whatever. And that's what I do. And then, so I get the first, get started, do the second, doing some more, get the third, and, break the project into 3 phases. You know what I mean? And do the 30, 30, 30. But when I get that last phase, 30%, that's actually what my number was. And then when I do the 10 on the end, they think I'm going to come back and finish because of that $12,000. So that gives them peace of mind. You know what I mean? So I learned to do that pretty early on. And of course, you're not going to do that with like roofing a residential house. A residential house, it's just you. You're in a pickup. You got 5 guys. You go out there and roof the stupid house. It is what it is. Bang it out, get done, move on. And generally, those guys will pay you upon completion. So you get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this dude's, handing you $1,500 to $3,000 cash. You know what I mean? For that day. And that's what keeps you going, type of deal. Anyway, so that's a little bit different. It's turned to shit bad now. This is the second wave. I think it's going to clear up here directly, and then we'll have one more, and that'll be that. We're setting at 32,300 on the tandems, 33,280 on the drives. So we're pretty balanced out as far as our weights on the truck, and we're getting some accumulation, but it ain't that bad. Let's see what we got on the brakes. Yeah, it's immediately stopping, just barely touching video on here where I discussed how to tap the brakes and stuff to check for like how to actually grab it and articulate the handle. Usually you had a handle so like you could work it. Now you got to be like, you got to practice a little bit, Anyway, just so you. I mean that's what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? That's where we're at, and that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not having any trouble. I'm not having any trouble whatsoever. But that don't mean these some bitches up here are, having the same degree of success that I'm having. So I'm gonna hop off here, get this CD cranked up. Yeah, make my due diligence. My due diligence. All right, I hope this has been effective communication on all levels and parameters. And do your list. I don't care what it is. 5 things you're gonna do today. Write it down. Check the boxes. If you check all 5, you win. If you do not, then you failed. If you failed, start over in the morning. You know what I mean? And make it work. Stack your wins.